Guys, this is Dr. Jerg, and today I'm gonna start first part in a new series called Trap Secrets of the Pharaohs.
Seriously?
And so today some of the things we're gonna go over is a lot of people ask me, they say, "Hey Dr. Jerg, how do you make your sounds?" And I say that I don't use synths a lot. And this is because there's a lot of cool ways to use samplers in lieu of synths. So, today I'm going to show you guys using the DAW Ableton Live 9.1.
Oh, let's say the whole fucking time.
Point 1, point 0, point 6, build to 130905 522F. Here, hit this shit.
Build.
Oh yeah, Kin's here with me in the studio.
Build 420.
So, basically, let's try to make a sound. So, let's go. So we're gonna use a lot of effects here, but basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a one-hit sound from, I don't fucking know. We'll find something, and we're going to turn it into a lit trap lead. So, let's find some source material here. For this one, let's see. I think I'm going to use some sounds that I made in Reason a while ago, if I can find them. I maybe won't be able to find them, so maybe we won't do that. Now, here we go. So, weird Reason sounds. So let's drag this audio in to an audio track here. You can drag it right into the simpler and crop it if you want, but that's for fucking noobs. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna chop it and consolidate it and whatnot. So let's see what we got. Oh, I'm not plugged in. There we go. So we got some weird fucking sound here. I don't know. It was probably Maelstrom. So anyways, let's chop a little tad bit out of it. I'm going to take this little chop here. Let's see what this sounds like. Actually, no. Actually, I'm going to use this one, because that one's significantly more lit, I would say. I don't know, what do you guys think? Say something in the comments below. Okay, so, this is already taking way too long. So we got our fucking thing. I don't know, it's like, that'll work. So we got this right here, right? I'm going to consolidate it, Apple J for our Windows users, Control J. We're going to tab back over here, go to our simpler. Oh wait, that's not going to work. We're going to actually click on there, and then we're going to go like this. Then we're going to drop it into the simpler. So now, we got this weird bullshit going on. So as you can hear, headphone speaker users, it's quite a bit of low end. So I'm making a lead. So first I'm going to add an EQ to this to kind of take out some of this crap that's in the 150 hertz or lower range. I'm going to EQ that shit. So now we kind of lost a bit of that, but we also have a click at the beginning a bit, so I'm going to turn the attack up just a little bit. See how I got rid of that little clicking sound? So now we're smooth sailing. So I'm going to put a little bit of portamento on this thing, probably delay time of about 120 seconds or milliseconds. So we can get a little bit of ish going here. We got Genghis here in the studio too.
Everything he's telling you is bullshit. All of it.
I mean, I don't know, man. This is kind of how you do it too. This is how we made Old Chub. So
lies.
This is factually partially correct.
So now
to make Old Chub, you got to take an Old Chub beer can.
For our FL Studio and Reason friends, well, for our Reason friends, this kind of
FL Studio users ain't our friends.
Hey man, that's hard.
So FL Studio is a great DAW for the record, but for this video, we're going to be using all the Ableton built-in effects, and they're my favorite that I've used of any DAW. But to be honest, I don't have a ton of experience in other DAWs besides Reason. So
I'll say right now, Ableton's got some of the best stock
Ableton's
plugins.
dirt. Genghis approved.
Except for like their synths. I don't fuck with them that much.
Analog's
I
lit.
fuck with the synths.
I don't know what he's talking about. Anyways, guys, so
Don't matter.
we got our fucking weird noise here, right? We got a bit of portamento on it. I think
Sound.
I'll turn it up even more. Close to 200. So now we're real slippery here. Slipping around all in there. And so, my favorite 3 effects that I like to use a lot are...
Synth is well lubricated.
Frequency shifter is a fan favorite. I'm a big fan of it because it fucks shit up, and I'm gonna throw one of those over here. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna kind of move this frequency shifter around a little bit using the frequency knob here and just all of the other default settings. I'm not gonna use the LFO, and so we're just gonna kind of modulate this sound. I'm gonna go up or down. I don't know if it's gonna sound good or not, but we'll see. We're in this together, guys. So there we go. As you can see, there we go. That's kind of, we can get a creepy little noise going down here. And this will work, like, see, my source material right now is a Reason sound, but you guys can use a one hit from a drum pack, or just any old weird noise. Or maybe something that you've made in Massive, or in another synth. Huh?
We made trash with a conga.
Yeah, we made trash with a conga. So, you know, you can really use whatever source material you want. Get creative with it. That's why we're making music, because it's fun. We're going to be creative. So, I kind of like the sound of this up here. This is like a kind of a low, fucked up noise. That's cool. But we're going to go for more of a lead. Like kind of a higher lead. So, what we're going to do now is use my other 2 favorite effects in here. And that's going to be grain delay and erosion.
Yeah!
So, so we're going to come in here and build a grain delay after, just because that's probably the most instantly gratifying in my opinion. And then we'll kind of use erosion after to shape the sound and make it a bit grittier. So after this, and the effect chain, I should note, for people who don't have a lot of production experience or sound experience, that the organization of your chain down here, the order, is very important from left to right, and it makes all the difference. If you pull in all of these effects and put them in a different order, your shit's gonna be all fucked up. And so what I think is important is to think of the sound as going from left to right. As you can see with these volume indicators here, you can kind of see how each effect is altering it. If I take this EQ and pull this shit up, well, it's kind of hard to tell on here, but this is actually a little bit higher than this one over here. So this indicates going into the EQ, and this indicates going out. Sorry, this is just for noobs. For people who already know, this is pretty basic stuff. Anyways, the reason why I have my EQ first is because I don't want those low-end frequencies. I want to cut them out before I send my sound signal into these other effects, so that I'm not fucking with them. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with that too much. And then we might add an EQ after to kind of shape our sound to change it a bit. But anyways, initially I wanted the low end to be gone, so that's why I have this EQ'd out. And I'm using the ×4 because it's a steeper curve and I like it that way. Okay, so grain delay. Grain delay you can use in sync mode, but for our purposes, we're going to take it off sync and go into time mode. And in time mode, we're going to keep it around 40 milliseconds, which is the default. Just, that's the little bit of delay before the effect. You can pull it up and down, but if you pull it down to 1 millisecond, it's going to start sounding kind of weird.
The delay on grain delay is a track delay as well. So you got to keep in mind, it's going to delay, whatever you delay with the grain delay is going to be pushed that number of seconds forward in your song.
Which you can then actually use your track. Where is it?
The built-in track delay.
Where's the track delay? Yeah, here we go. If you press this D over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can go into the track delay and fix it if it's too delayed. But to be honest, I usually don't do this, and that's because I don't typically quantize much of my music. And so I kind of like the delayed bit of sound. I think it adds kind of a tripped out, more personal kind of feel to it, as opposed to being very robotic and quantized and perfectly on time. So anyways, here in the grain delay, right now, we've really not altered our sound too much. But if we start grabbing this little fader here, and I'm on the y-axis, so I'm using frequency, and on the x-axis, I'm modulating pitch.
That's the stock setting.
As I start moving this around, this is the stock setting. But as I start moving this around, you're seeing we're starting to get some pretty cool noises going on here. So anyways, let's move on to a new effect. There's lots of fun things to do with grain delay. I typically like to stay on the frequency and pitch modulations just because that's how I can accomplish what I want out of it. But there's lots of other fun things to do. So anyways, let's pull in erosion because erosion's really fun. So erosion has 3 different settings. I'm not sure. The wide noise I think is just more of a stereo modulation, and the noise is just a regular. Both of them seem to add. I'm not sure exactly what they do, but I assume some sort of bit reduction or adding a white noise to your sound.
Sine is bit reduction, but it's bit reduction.
Oh, not the sine. I'm talking about the noises.
Oh,
yeah.
Why
the sine.
noise?
The sine is a sine shaper, so it's adding. It's a wave shape. It's adding a sine wave to your sound.
Yeah, and specifically in the frequencies that you select.
Certainly. So you select the frequencies by moving this around. You can see down here it's modulating the frequency, and the amount is on the y-axis. The frequency is on the x. So sine shaper is going to send a sine wave through our sound, so it's going to sound more like, and here it is on and off. So this is kind of a weird sound, but I'm not a huge fan of this one. So let's try the wide noise. I'm going to add a little bit of width so that we're going to open up the frequencies that are going to be affected by it to kind of a wider range, because as we said, frequencies on the x-axis. So as you can see here, this is going to add a grittiness to our sound, and I like to be kind of sparse with this, but I think it adds quite a bit. Just adds a bit of grit to our sound, so nothing too fancy. And so what I like to do here now is, now that I've got my 3 fun effects on it, sometimes I like to put the erosion before the grain delay or after. It just kind of depends, but for this one, I liked what the grain delay was doing it to it. So now I'll kind of go back and fuck with the frequency shifter again, as well as the grain delay, and just kind of see, what I can do with this sound. They are the 3 musketeers, yeah. You might as well just group them.
Yeah.
And then save the patch and call it lit effect rack.
/ 3 musketeers.
/
like the candy bar.
The candy bar that is filled with white creamy goodness. So we've got our sweet sound here, right? I don't know. It's not that sweet. We could do better. But anyways, this is just a basic one. I'll also show you phaser a bit. Sometimes I'll use a phaser. The phaser, Ableton's phaser is fucking weird. If you're like me or something and you came from like being a guitar player or something like that, or like, I don't know, and you like, if you use the LFO, you can get it to sound like a phaser, but without using the LFO and just kind of moving around, it just does, yeah, it just does weird things to your sound. So
people from Reason will think this is just the weirdest shit.
Yeah, it's not like the phaser in Reason. It is. So, anyways, we got kind of our cool noise going or whatever. It's not that cool. That's alright.
It's pretty cool.
You can't even hear it, Nick.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, so here's what I like to do at this point. I'll usually have drums or something going at this point in making a song when I'm kind of going and making a lead. So I like to do percussion first because it kind of helps me build my song. And so, say I'd have my drum track or whatever, I'll kind of just play over it and whatnot. And so I'll record it. I'm gonna record in just some BS. Okay, so we got something here. This isn't not very melodic. And so what I like to do now to kind of modulate my noise further is we're going to freeze and bounce this track to audio. So what this is going to do is it's going to, well, first of all, put my MIDI into audio, but also it's going to put all the effects built into this audio clip now. So we can start another lit effect chain on the audio and start getting this shit to sound even weirder. But what I like to do over here is, well, beats can give you some cool stuff sometimes, but I like to use Complex Pro just to be safe if I'm transposing, less than an octave in either direction from where we were at. Use Complex Pro if you're going to do further. You got to kind of fuck around with it. But yeah, there's another tutorial, warping settings. But anyways, I'll just listen to my sound here, and I'll kind of pitch it up and down. Maybe it sounds cooler up here, maybe for one part, it'll be some other fucking shit. Anyways, like I said, at this point, you can go, back to the audio effect, the lit rack that we made earlier, and kind of pull it in here, and then, God knows what's. Now it sounds pretty weird. Yeah, now we're getting some weird ones, so, you could take this and then kind of move this around so it sounds cool, and then use erosion here. You got a pretty weird noise here, so you can do quite a bit, and then, what's fun, go in, perhaps into, my mouse does that sometimes. You can go in here with your lead, and, I wish I had a song, so this would be a little more informative, but, you can just do stuff like this, little glitching and stuff where you, go to the quantize, select an area, and that can give you pretty cool effects here. It's pretty sweet, and then, maybe you want to pitch all of this to, see where it sounds cool. That's pretty cool, this thing. That's pretty trippy. So, it's all about just kind of fucking around and, playing around with the effects. Don't be afraid to change stuff and have a good time exploring. So, I think that's probably about it for today. I could probably make a whole nother video about using Simplan as your source noise instead of using Simpler into one hit. Because I think Simplant's a pretty intuitive way to create sounds, and I can get a lot of weird noises out of it that I can use as my source material. And sometimes I'll just click around on Simplant. For those who haven't seen it, Sonic Charge, I highly recommend purchasing it. It's only $100, and they're paying me to say this. I'm just kidding.
Not
but
really.
But yeah, so, you can go on Simplant and, maybe this should be another video, but I was going to show you guys.
Simplant is going to be another video.
Just a way to record it. My computer's tripping now because got the QuickTime going, got all the things happening here.
Alright, so next week we're teaching you how a rubber band and a vape pen can get you Prius noises.